Hey everybody. I'm coming on here. I'm gonna set up my tube feeds, and I'm gonna take my evening medicine with you. Um, so for those of you that may be new, my name is Lisa Wagers. I'm from London, Kentucky. I suffer with esophageal dysphagia and um, severe gastroparesis. I'm completely tube fed and have been for almost 5 years now. So if you want to follow my journey, I'd appreciate it. I really would. But these are my IntraFlow bags. I take the Peptamen 1.5. I do 4 bottles in the evening, and then in the mornings I add 2 more bottles. So I get 16 hours of runtime, and I get 6 bottles a day of nutrition. So just tear the top off. And it's like this. Hand sanitizer. I really should have put this on before I touched my bag, so don't do that. But my hands are washed and clean, so okay. So, my right leg is hurt. I'm also hypoglycemic, and I pass out and fall a lot, and I hurt my leg. I had to go to the ER because I was in a flare, plus I had fell and I needed to get my leg x-rayed. Luckily, nothing was broken, so that's good. And I'm sorry for the lighting. I didn't take time to get one of my ring lights out to set it up because of my leg, so I'm having to deal with just the lighting in my bedroom, how it is. But you want to shake your bottles of nutrition up really well to get all that, just like if you were going to be drinking it yourself, you want to shake it and get it all mixed up real good. So this is my feeding tube. If there's any questions that anybody wants to ask, feel free. I'm an open book. I'll tell you anything that you want to know. Like I said, I've been on my feeding tube. In December the 10th, will be 5 years since I've received my feeding tube. Just so you know, there's a lot of questions about the gastroparesis. One, the biggest thing is there a cure? No, there's not. There's not a cure for it at this time. Hopefully, one day there will be, but as of right now, there's not. All they can do is like band-aid your symptoms. And what I mean when I say that, it's like give you nausea medication, give you pain medication, things like that. I mean, that's all they can do. I also have severe GERD, which is in part due to my esophageal dysphagia. It's really bad. And so I have to deal with that. There's a lot of times when you have delayed gastric emptying or you have gastroparesis, you will have GERD that goes along with that. Because your brain tells your body everything, right? It's like the computer to your body. Your brain is. So your brain tells your body when it needs to make acid to break down your food. When you have delayed gastric emptying, and if you're able to eat, food just sits in your stomach because your stomach is paralyzed or very delayed. And so your brain tells your stomach, need to make more acid to break down this food, even though you've got plenty of acid. It's not going to break down and move no matter how long it sits there. But that's what your brain tells your body. And so the heartburn is horrendous at times. That's really bad. That'll make you sick. you know, and you already have to deal with being sick from the gastroparesis. So here is my bag filled up with my 4 bottles, and then again in the morning I will add 2 more bottles to what is left in here. It'll probably be like right down at the nitty gritty, and then I'll add 2 more bottles, and so it's essentially 16 hours that I have to run this. I will tell you that if you're new to a feeding tube, when you prime your line, until you get the hang of it, use a bottle of water first. First put in a bottle of water, get your line primed. And what I mean by that, you'll see it here in a minute. See the nutrition? It's running through my line. See it? This is called priming. We want to get it all the way through the line, running out, so that there's no air. There's no air bubbles, because you don't want any air bubbles. That's just painful. You already have enough swelling and things like that with the gastroparesis. You don't need any more. But it's almost to the end. But if you put water in, when you're new to a feeding tube, you put water in and get the hang of it with the water first. You might think that you're just priming the line. It can't be that hard. Till you get used to it, it can be. Trust me. We had a lot of issues with it till we got the hang of it. And so now I don't have to use the water. I can just put my nutrition right in and go to town. So currently I weigh 98 pounds. I struggle to gain weight. I guess you can tell. I used to, I was born with gastroparesis, but back then they didn't know what it was. I was born with gastrointestinal problems. I couldn't keep anything down. I threw up a lot. I've always thrown up a lot my entire life. Just never knew what it was, not until like 2010 when I got diagnosed with delayed gastric emptying. And then I think in 2018 I was diagnosed with the gastroparesis, and I just kept going downhill from there. So with gastroparesis, you can be either a gainer, which means you just gain weight, or you can be a loser, which means you just lose weight. All my life, I was a loser. I struggled to put on weight, struggled to gain weight. I hit puberty, I went into remission, and put on weight, looked healthy, and was like that until I started having my babies. And then I started having trouble not getting the weight off, but I didn't think anything about it, because a lot of women struggle with that, right? So as you know, the years were going by, I realized that it seemed like every year I was packing on more pounds. And no matter what I did, no matter what diets I tried, no matter if I starved myself, I just steadily gained weight. How can you do that, right? Well, the gastroparesis will cause that. And now I'm back to being a loser. So my body struggles to absorb the nutrients. I have a bag full of medicine. This is my medical bag, what I carry with me everywhere. I know it's hard to see with this lighting in here, but so get out what I'll be taking tonight. I will have some more to take at bedtime, and I have 2 grinders. This one is supposed to grind to a fine powder, and it does really well with most of my medications. But there are some, like this heart medication here, it's got like a coating on the outside that doesn't really want to break down well, so I have to grind it twice. I have to grind it in this one and then in this one. And this one doesn't work really great. There's a lot of granules left, but doing it in this one and then doing it in this one cuts down on that. So heart medication, Zofran, Singulair, Reglan, Seroquel, and the heart medication is Ranolazine. That keeps my heart. All right, the heart medication, Ranolazine, keeps my heart rate up. Because without it, my heart rate will be very low. Reglan, it's for nausea and also to kind of help make your stomach work, which it does nothing for mine. My stomach is completely paralyzed. So Zofran for nausea. Seroquel, this is for nerves, depression, to help with sleep. I take a lot of sleeping medications because I suffer from insomnia. Singulair can be used for allergies, but it's also used for your lungs, for your breathing, and that's why I take it, because I also take Zyrtec in the mornings. Famotidine is a stomach medication. It neutralizes acid. I'm on 2 of those. I also take omeprazole in the mornings. Melatonin, prescription melatonin. Compazine, another nausea medication, and you might not have heard of that because mostly cancer patients get the Compazine and get the strong Zofran like I'm on. This is another medication that is taken at night. It's Prozacin. It blocks nightmares. It stops you from having nightmares. If I don't take this, I have nightmares every night that I'm being killed somehow. And I also have nightmares about things that have happened to me in my past. So, and then I have these 3 medications. I'm just going to say it. They help me poop. Without these, I can't go number 2. Then we also have sugar medication. Help keep my sugar up. And mirtazapine, which I take that at night before I go to bed. That also helps with sleep and it's also prescribed for other things, but for me, it helps with my sleep. So, let's start getting these out. I've been trying to do more on YouTube. It's hard. When you're sick a lot, it's really hard to do your videos. And so I'm trying to be better about that. I've been to the hospital a lot. If you follow me on Facebook or Instagram or on TikTok, you'll see I'm in the ER a lot. It's gotten to where they know me by my face and by my name now, which is not very good. You know, I mean, I guess in one way it is, you know, because they know you. They know what your issues are. But the fact that you're to the ER so much that they recognize you, you know, that kind of feels odd. But most of these I can crush. With the esophageal dysphagia, a lot of my medicines will get stuck in my throat, and I will vomit them. I will vomit them up. So I only swallow what is time released. What I cannot crush. Everything else is crushed and put through my tube. So I have 3 pills in the mornings that I have to swallow. The rest goes in my tube. And some of these medications I take multiple times a day. And then the rest of them, they get put in my tube other than what's time released. I hope that makes sense, because anything that's time released, you can't put in your tube. I keep hospital cups. I take out the straw because I don't need the straw. I use these for my water. They do provide you with little plastic cups with the measurements on the side through my infusion place, but I would have to go pick them up, and it's in Lexington, and I live in London. And like if I'm in Lexington, it'd be fine. I could just drop by there and pick them up, and they just charge my insurance. But if not, if they try to mail them to me with my supplies, they get crushed, broken. They'll be broken by the time they get to me. So I just keep the hospital cups because they have the measurements on the side. So you can measure out your water and anything else that you need to measure out. And I keep water in my bedroom on my headboard because I use a lot. Anytime I take medication, I have to have a bottle of water because it goes in my tube. Like I say, very little goes in my mouth. Very little. I do have times where I try to take things in and just, it's not pretty. It always comes up. But I still try. Because people ask me how it is to not be able to eat. It's hard. It's really hard not to eat, especially when people around you are eating. And you can't expect them not to, right? I mean, people eat to live. You can't expect people not to eat around you. That's just ridiculous. And I've had people say, well, why do you let them do that? Did you hear yourself? Why did I let them do that? Why would I stop them from doing that? I don't want anybody feeling bad because they're eating, because they can and I can't. That's nobody's fault. So, stop and think about things before you say them. So I have 3 pills that I have to swallow, and I'm going to take it with very little water, so I have better chance of keeping them down. And again, this is Reglan and my famotidine, which is for my stomach, for acid buildup. Just enough to wet it so I can get it down. Oh, I forgot one. Melatonin. That's rough. But eventually, it'll go on down. If I can keep from throwing it up, it'll go on down. But you can feel it stuck in there. That's not a good feeling. But I can feel the pills stuck in my throat. So I'm putting them in my grinder. I'm going to crush these up. These I can crush without having to crush them twice. So I'll get these all crushed. See? Just like that. So put me some water in my syringe. Dump those pills in there. Okay. Getting some gloves. handy dandy gloves. Okay, so before you touch your tube, again, my hands are already washed and clean. You want to make sure your hands are washed and cleaned very well. Move this bag. Hand sanitizer. And then your gloves. You want to get all the air out, because air going in your belly is bad. It's very painful, and your belly will swell up. You would think that a little bit of air wouldn't cause a problem like that, but it just triggers things. And I'm sorry about the lighting. When my leg gets better, where I can get up and walk around, I can get my ring light out. I shake it to get all the little bits, if there are any, down to the hole. And that was perfect. So it was all ground up real good. Pour a little bit in my cup. Get a little bit more water in there. Now, I'm just going to lay that down. All right. This Singulair has a coating on it. So it's going to grind, and I'll only have to do it in this one grinder. But it'll have pieces of that outside coating that don't grind, that, you know, that doesn't grind up all the way. I know you won't be able to see it, but I don't know, you might be able to. See that spot in there? That's the outside coating. That'll dissolve, so we don't have to worry about that. Okay. I have a extender cap that I have on my line because my stopper right here broke. Put our cap back on. Pour some more water. Dump our peel in there. Shake that up a little bit. And this one should be ground up pretty good. And again, I'm going to tap it so I can get all those bits, if there are any, to get right down here to the hole where it feeds into my line. Perfect. Easy. So it all ground up real good. I know this next one's not going to go that smooth. But that's okay. Okay. Now, take this big guy right here. That's the heart peel. And this one's hard. Okay. Can you see those little chunks in there? Those are not going to go. Some of them will go through, but you don't want to push those in there because they can stop up your line. So that's where this guy comes in. I'm going to grind it twice with two different grinders. You can hear it kind of. And that's about as good as we're going to get her. And guys, I use numbing cream around my feeding tube. I found the perfect thing on Amazon called Base Numb. They have quit selling it. I can't find it anywhere. So if you know what I'm talking about, they use it for tattooing and stuff like that. It has 5% lidocaine, but whatever else is in there numbs very well. Can't find it. So I'm down to trying to order things just to see if they work, and nothing's working as good as the Base Numb did. It didn't take all the pain out, but it was good for taking a lot of it. Now I'm gonna take the rest of my water and pour it in my cup. I'm gonna take my pill in here and dump it in. I'm going to use this grinder for a stand. I'm going to set my syringe down in it because I need my hands. Sugar medicine. And we have to take 1 milliliter. And just put it in your syringe. Okay. Now this one we're going to have to shake good because it's still got some little crumbles in there. Do this to kind of break it up. I have to do this every night, every morning, and throughout the day when I have to take my medication. I still see a few little crumbles, but like I say, we're not going to get all of them out. But they will mash up, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. They get soft because they're in the water. And I could let it sit and probably where they would just dissolve, but I don't have the patience to do that. Put that on. Get all the little crumbles that are in there down there. That's part of the pill. Whole syringe of water. And it usually takes about 8 syringes of water to get all the medicine flushed. 7 to 8. We've almost got it. Almost. And when my leg gets better, I'm going to be doing some cooking and things like that for the family. And I'd like to record that for you too. I'm going to get better with my videos and everything. It's just been hard here lately because it's like either I'm in the ER or my mother-in-law's in the hospital. One of us are constantly at the hospital. So it's kind of hard to get videos done. But I'm going to try to get better. And my granddaughter Carter was just here. You'll see her with me a lot. She comes over the most out of all the grandkids. My oldest daughter, both my girls have children. My son doesn't. My oldest daughter, she's got 4 boys and 2 girls. She just had a little girl. She's got her hands full. So it's kind of hard for them all to fit in a vehicle to go somewhere. So it's hard for her to bring them over here. It's hard for me to get them because I don't have a vehicle that big. And like right now with my leg, I can't run after little ones. So I don't get to see them at my home as much as I do Carter. Carter does have an older sister and a younger brother. The older sister, she is special needs. I do not disrupt her routine. She has a routine, and I let that routine stay. Sometimes I will disrupt it, like when school is in. Sometimes, well, when I could drive, let me put it like that. When I was able to drive, I would pick her up from school every once in a while and take her out for a treat. We would go get ice cream or whatever she wanted to do. And I couldn't afford to do it all the time, but I've made special things to do things like that with her. But like I say, I try not to disrupt her routine very much, because when Nori's routine gets disrupted, she has a hard time dealing with that. And I think it would be selfish for me to want to disrupt her routine and make it harder on her and her parents at home for my own selfish feelings, so I just can't do that. I get to spend time with Nori, and I've tried to keep Oliver, but he wouldn't stay. He wanted his mama. He was fine till he realized his mama was gone. And then he started crying because he's never been away from her. And my oldest daughter, her kids are never away from her either. They don't send them anywhere to be watched. They keep them. And my oldest daughter, she's got 6 kids. She gets up every morning, cooks breakfast. By the time she gets breakfast dishes cleaned up and everything, it's time to cook lunch, and she cooks them all lunch. When she gets that done, then it's about time to cook supper. So she cooks 3 meals a day, plus makes all their snacks. So, the fact that she doesn't try to palm off on anybody, kudos to her, because a lot of parents are not like that. And I'm not coming down on anybody for needing a break. Please don't take it that way, because people need their breaks. You do. So there's my medicine, and we've got the 2 feeds set up. So all I have to do is just hook it to my line and turn on my pump. So there's a little evening routine for you. And like I say, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I don't care what they are. You can ask me anything. I'm an open book. I will give you an answer. But I'm going to get better on my videos. And I hope everybody has a good night. And I love you bunches. Bye.